Welcome to Off the Shelf. It is spooky season and we are delving into our collection to unearth chilling tales perfect to get you in the mood for the season. You could read them now or add them to your TBR list to read at a future time. But let us know what you think of these picks. You can put in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you wish to be notified of new videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the button below. Joining me today, I have some of my fellow library staff. I have Anna. Hello. Jenna and Ebony. Okay, we're going to get started with a title that was recommended by you, Jenna. You're kind of new to the horror genre, and it's The September House by Carissa Orlando. And I have that it's about a woman determined to stay in her dream home despite escalating gruesome monthly hauntings. What do you have to say about it?
It was real. I mean, who in this economy would stay in their house? That's true. As long as if you find your dream house and you finally get one, and this woman moves in and she just does not want to leave. And you know, I was surprised. I read this book in September House, and it was a perfect start to spooky season. It was not. I mean, it gets progressively scarier as you read it, but it's not like so horrifying that I couldn't get through it. It had like a very light tone throughout, which was surprising.
That's good.
Like it's kind of funny, like it's darkly funny, a little bit of mystery, and of course horror, especially toward the end. But I really enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite reads of September, and I recommend it.
Oh. Now, you also read it, Ebony.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about it?
I think the main character's reactions to the things that would necessarily be horrifying to someone else, like the ghost popping up and the ghost interacting with her, she makes it funny. Like you said, it's very lighthearted, and you're just like, how is she just normalizing all of this? All of these crazy ghosts that are coming through. Some of them don't look very great. Some of them are very.
It's also like, what else do you normalize in life?
Yeah.
So it's interesting in that way.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The house is a metaphor for the self.
I mean, I won't spoil anything.
Okay. Well, I know because I've had recommendations for both of you. It's already, I'm on the holds list for it. I believe you're also reading it now, Anna?
It's on my TV Red, yes.
Yeah. So it looks like this is going to be a popular pick for our library. All right. Next up, we have a pick from you, Anna, which is The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon, excuse me. And it's a thriller where a teenager discovers a centuries-old diary that reveals a dark folklore ritual for temporarily resurrecting the dead.
Well, of course, things go wrong. It's like half missing person. It's half horror. Just imagine the horror of a Vermont winter in general. It's snowy, it's dark, you don't know where your mom is, you're a teenager, you don't know where your sister is, and things are getting progressively weirder around you. And what is this weird diary that you found? That's, you know, like history of this land, and it's unraveling as our main character is unraveling. The realities, the fabric of the realities that she knows to be true. The diary is unraveling everything that she knows to be true.
Now, I've heard the book is so creepy, it keeps you up at night.
It is, it's creepy.
Would you?
Yeah, it's creepy.
Anyone ever read a book like that? That was so creepy it kept you up at night?
Not necessarily.
No, yeah, I think not for you. You're all the horror
like a baby. Yeah.
The first time I read it, for sure. Now I've desensitized myself.
A book that did keep me up at night was Night Shift by Stephen King. So, of course, we have to mention Stephen King,
Master of Horror.
Master of Horror. You had a few recommendations from him, Ebony.
Yeah.
First up, you had Under the Dome. Now, I love the TV series. Can't wait to read the book.
No, I haven't watched the TV series,
Okay.
but the book is one of my all-time favorites of his because I love situations where you have a bunch of people who are kind of stuck together, and it really brings out either the ugliness in people or the really good in people. And this book is kind of this on steroids. Like it's just basically, you know, the dome comes down and a lot of just crazy stuff just happens right at the moment that it happens. And you just see all these different viewpoints from around the town. You see all of the town politics that have been happening that are kind of blown up out of proportion now that the outside can't influence anyone. And it's a really fascinating story. So many great characters, and it's a long book. It's over 1,000 pages.
Oh, wow.
But I've read it multiple times My mom has read it. It's such a good story. It's very, all the characters are very fleshed out, even though there's so many of them. It does keep you on the edge of your seat for a lot of it.
So good psychological thriller?
I would say not necessarily psychological, but definitely kind of like, it's like basically like a little experiment, like of seeing what happens when you just put a whole town under the spotlight and they can't get out, no one can come in, and you just see all these power and balance happening and how they affect everyone in the town. And you see old histories come up, feuds, things like that. It's very good. And there's no one that can come in and intercept it. The government can't do anything. No one can really help them. And it's just very crazy.
I'm ready to tackle the big book.
Highly recommend.
You also selected The End of the World as We Know It, which was not written by Stephen King, but it's a horror anthology of tales set during and after the events in Stephen King's book, The Stand, which is dystopian horror in which 99% of the world's population is eradicated by a virus. You have a favorite tale in there?
I think, well, the book is divided up between stories that are happening when the virus is taking place, then months after, then years after, and then like a decade after. So you have people who are born who have never even, didn't know life before the virus. So the stories are split up between them. Very different authors. If you're a regular horror reader, you'll probably recognize a lot of writers.
Yes, I did. When I looked
yeah.
through the list of horror writers that contributed to this, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I do remember Paul Tremblay stood out.
Oh,
He's the one that's standing out in my
I think
head.
Alma Katsu also
Yes.
wrote a story in it. There's a lot of different authors in it, and there's such a variety of stories, although a lot of them have like a common theme to them, so they use a lot of the elements from the story, to the point where like sometimes I'm just like, is this really like a part of like what happened? Like did King give them some notes? Because it just, all the stories really fit so well into the universe. And my favorite stories were the ones that happened like right when the apocalypse was happening. Yeah. And it's just, the stories are so, they give you a different perspective of things that were happening either in other places in the world or other places in the US, and just how those situations might have like unfolded and things like that. So you see characters from like different socioeconomic and how they dealt with it. It's so fascinating. I think it was really well done.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth the read. I haven't read The Stand in like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was reading these stories, I was like, oh yeah,
That would probably be interesting to reread The Stand
Yeah.
now after reading some of these stories. I like going back and reading.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me, as you're talking about, a little bit like the Danny Boyle 28 series, 28 days later, 28 months later, 28 years later. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess if you like those, then this might be
a good,
another book.
good
for you.
pick. Now, we could go on about different Stephen King books. Anybody else have any picks of his that they would want to mention? It.
Gotta watch it. You gotta read it.
Gotta read it. I saw the story. I don't know if I want to read it.
The Tim Curry one still haunts me to this day.
I did read Fairy Tale. That's my most recent Stephen King book. I liked that one. I wouldn't say horror, but I still enjoyed it. Like, Twisted Fairy Tale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And good for the dog lovers.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
one.
definitely for the dog
Okay.
lover.
Full Dark No Stars. It's a novella collection of his, and I think there's 4 novellas in that collection, and every single one of them is just a 5-star for me. I've probably reread that book more than any of his other books, just
okay.
over and over again.
Another good
And
one.
I think 2 or 3 of them have been made into movies. One of them is a Netflix movie, 1922, and then there's one that's called A Good Marriage, and I don't think the other 2 have been. Oh no, actually, yeah, 3 of them. 3 of them have been Big Driver, 1922, and A Good Marriage. All 3 of those have been adapted into movies. I've only seen 1922, which was very good, but I'm nervous to watch it. That I love.
King famously has a conventional relationship.
I do love a good historical fiction, and when you mix it in with a supernatural element, for me, it's even better. And this next one takes witches. This was a pick of yours, Jenna. Resistance of Witches by Morgan Ryan. And what do you got
Yes,
to say?
I read this one a few weeks ago. I really enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
I picked it up because I was interested in the idea of witches fighting the Nazis
Mm-hmm.
in World War II. So it turned out that the witches were fighting witches that
Yeah, they're
were
fighting-
recruited by the Third Reich, so they were kind of like,
So is it like witches against witches?
yeah, mostly.
Nice.
So
That's
it
what I
was
kind of
like
always thought it
and
was.
they were like battle witches, you know, they had like cool
See.
powers too. So it was fun. They were all like hunting down a grimoire,
Uh-huh.
like a spell book that
yeah.
you know had like a power to basically eradicate. I won't spoil anything too much, but basically they were trying to keep the book out of Hitler's hands. And
Well, when you recommended it, I checked it out right away. I have a stack of books I have to read after talking to these ladies,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, would you?
it was fun. It was like there was like 3 point of view characters. So there's one main witch, and then there's like 2 characters that I thought were also really interesting points of view.
Uh-huh.
And they're all just kind of, you know, there's like espionage, they're like running around the French countryside and occupied France. It was a good time. It wasn't
Yeah.
like super history heavy, it was a little more in the fantasy realm.
Supernatural
But
realm.
it came out pretty recently too, so it was
Cool.
it's a good one.
Can't
On
wait
your
to read it.
bookshelf.
Yay. Now, this one's not a historical fiction. It's another witch tale that I would recommend. It's Cackle by Rachel Harrison. I don't know if anyone's ever read any Rachel Harrison.
No, I actually
If you haven't, I would recommend it. And this one, she's like looking for a fresh start, just broke up with her boyfriend. She goes to a small town and she starts befriending this mysterious woman that most of the town seem to be afraid of, like, and defer to. And it turns out she's a kind of a powerful witch, and there's a little bit of a power play. I really enjoyed it. Some people have called it a cozy fantasy, cozy horror, and there are some cozy elements to it, but it's kind of that suspense buildup on what's going to happen that I found to have that nice horror element to it. And she just has out now called Play Nice. It's about a
Oh, yes, I just downloaded that.
It's a great cover.
yes, a
Yeah.
demon-possessed house, and
Yes.
I can't wait to read hers. So far, she's covered witches, vampires, werewolves, kind of like zombie return, I guess you'd say, dead person coming back from, and now haunted houses. So she plays around with everything. And her close friend is Eric LaRocca, who authored The Trees Grew Because I Bled There. Another pick of Ebony's here, which is a collection of short horror stories. What are your...
And both Rachel Harrison and Eric LaRocca have spoken at our libraries before. They've done events for us, which has been really great.
Yeah, we actually have an author panel they did last year with Paul Tremblay and Clay McLeod. And you can find that virtual author talk on our website. I'll link it up above, on our YouTube channel, which I will link. And it was actually really interesting to hear all 4 of them talk about writing horror, what made them want to write horror, and their different takes on things. So, but, and I really found Eric LaRocca very
He's very
intriguing and very interesting.
Yeah.
So his stories are a little on the dark side, would you say?
Yes. He's big on body horror, so if you're squeamish, or you have a super vivid imagination, he might be a little terrifying to read. But his stories are they definitely provoke an emotion in you. Sometimes that's fear, sometimes it's just contemplating like what choices you would have made in that situation. Sometimes it's just like, I can't believe people like this exist, like that type of thing. And yeah, the stories are just very, if you come across someone who has also read the stories, they're stories that you can just talk back and forth about for a long time. And I first came across him a few years ago through a booktube channel, and I've read every single thing by him. I think he has a book called something about a sparrow. Something. Yeah, it's a new book that he has coming out soon. And that's the one that I need to read. But I've read every single thing.
And his books are short stories.
Yes.
So another thing that's nice is you can try them out.
Yeah.
See if you like
He's
it.
wrote a couple full-length books. But I think the stories that I like the most are the ones that he's had in his collections. Yeah.
Alright. Okay, now we're gonna head back to Strange Happenings in a New Home with We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kleiber. A favorite of yours, Anna, where you have a simple courtesy at the front door turns into a psychological nightmare.
Yeah, so
Fill us in.
a young couple,
Mhm.
they flip houses, they restore old homes, and one day, you know, our main character, she opens the front door to find this, you know, typical American family,
Mhm.
son, daughter, mother, father, and they're not what they appear. First, they just kind of want to look around the home. The father used to live there, but then slowly she can't remember if it's her house or their home, and they don't leave, and her girlfriend never comes back. And they're like, but this person never lived here. So it kind of always plays on like what is reality, what's not reality. Also, there are some genuinely terrifying, spooky things that happen. So it's like half haunted house, half psychological horror. It'll keep you guessing. There's different dimensions at play. That's all I'll say. But it's good. It's good.
Okay. Sounds like a fun book.
It's fun.
I've heard people talking about like trying to figure out the puzzles that are in
Yeah,
the
there's a lot
book.
of puzzles in it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have
I like
theories.
books.
I have
I like
theories.
puzzles.
So I can't wait for the second one. That's all I'll say.
Oh, there's
There's a
sequel.
sequel.
There's a sequel. That's all I'll say.
Oh, nice.
Alright, so now, not all horror has to be dark, spooky, and scary. We have An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good by Helene Turstyn. You recommended to me this book a while ago. I read it and loved it. It's a quirky collection. I found it with dark comedy.
Yeah.
You want to let us in on a little bit more about Maud and her escapades?
Well, the book, it's told in, short stories centering around Maud. And it's basically just how everyone is just underestimating this little lady.
Yeah.
And they underestimate her and then they regret it. They
Yeah.
regret it bad. And
She
it's
lives a
just-
solitary life, doesn't
Yeah.
want to be bothered.
She's
You
got
bother her?
an interesting past,
Mhm.
you know, and it's from her perspective, so you kind of see her thinking and everything like that. It's a fascinating, it's very tiny. It's like
Mhm.
a little tiny book. You can probably like fit in your pocket.
Oh yeah.
And so I can't give away too much, but it's definitely worth a read. There's also a sequel.
Yeah.
And
Two or
yes.
three? Just two?
I think it's just two. I haven't checked in a while to see if there's another one, but
But it was fun if you like that like little dark comedy, you know, with
Yeah.
a little horror to it.
Yeah.
It was nice.
it's located in our quick reads collection, and like I said, the book is probably about like this big. Yeah, it's
You
very
could fit it
quick.
in your pocket.
It's a very
Yeah,
quick
quick
read. Definitely worth it. I really wish. I don't often wish that books were longer, but I wish that book. That was
Yeah,
like a full
that was-
length
she was-
book.
I
It was
really
so
liked
good.
that.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
All right. Now, lastly, we have Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak, which is a supernatural thriller where a 5-year-old's innocent pictures become more disturbing, hinting towards a chilling murder. I know this was a book you picked, Anna. I'm going to just say I saw some of the pictures when I was like looking up this book
Terrifying.
online. They would do freak you out a little bit. Yeah.
They nailed
So
it.
let us know a little bit more about this.
So this book takes place in New Jersey, outside Philadelphia, and it's an affluent couple, a power couple, and they have this, this innocent 5-year-old little boy, and he has this nanny, and she's our main character, and she's welcomed into this beautiful home. She's had a difficult past. She's found a soft place. She's kind of stuck here. Before this she was homeless, and she begins to form like a very intense bond with this family. But as she's forming this intense bond, things are getting weirder. The 5-year-old's beginning to draw these pictures and say these things, and the parents they keep telling her that like she's making it up and nobody believes her. And the more that she kind of goes down this path, they keep painting her as an unreliable narrator because of her past. So if you kind of like suspense, if you like thriller, if you like haunted houses, if you like unreliable narrators, this is the one for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
So those are some of our picks right now. Anybody have any other titles they want to mention that they want to throw out there?
Oh, I just read The Lamb by Lucy Rose.
Me too.
Oh.
We have to talk.
The opening sentence. The opening sentence I can't say.
Okay.
You would not want it.
What an ending.
What an ending! Yes, it gets really supernatural. The
Yeah.
horror initially comes from the horror of people, like the things that people do. It's about cannibals. It takes place in England, in the countryside. I think somewhere outside Newcastle. A young girl and her mother are each other's worlds, and she doesn't realize. Well, she kind of, I think, does realize that not everybody is a cannibal, but to her it's normal.
Yeah.
So you kind of get like the normalcy of like this really terrible, absurd thing from the perspective of like a young child. But there is supernatural elements.
Yeah,
and the
they
ending
don't come
was-
into play until kind
Yeah.
of later on, but
The ending I thought was
it's
spectacular.
very good. Yeah,
Very
but
good. Very good.
incredible.
The
yeah.
dialogue is really strong.
Yeah, it's a very short book.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you said, the book centers around a mom and daughter relationship, and then kind of a third party is introduced into their
Yes.
world, and that kind of shakes things up because
Mhm.
priorities are put in different places, resentment, and it's a very well done book. It's very short.
Yeah.
I listened to it on audio, so I definitely recommend the audiobook. It's very
You
good.
said it was
audio would be
available on Hoopla?
And we have it too in our collection.
have it in our
It's like-
collection too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's one of the scariest books I've read, and it's not because there's jump scares or ghosts. It's because of how vivid and thoughtful Rose is. Like the way that she writes these characters, they feel so real, and like the longer that you read it, the more normal the horror becomes
Yeah.
to you. Like that's all I'll say.
Okay.
Good.
Very exciting.
Very good.
Very good. Well, I'm glad that was a hit. Obviously.
There's one more author I think we might want to recommend.
Who's that?
Andrea L. Rogers. She wrote a horror anthology called Man-Made Monsters. And Rogers is a native writer.
Mm.
And so there's vampires and there's ghosts and there's like native myths in it. I thought it was just kind of one of the coolest things I've read. And it's actually, the audiobook is excellent. I highly recommend listening to the audiobook because Lane Factor from Reservation Dogs is actually, and the Fablemans.
Reservoir Dogs?
No, Reservation Dogs. But, and also the Fablemans is one
Okay.
of the voice actors.
Voice actors.
And he does a fantastic job.
Voice actors make such a difference in an audio.
Yeah, he's such
So
a
much.
good voice actor, and it really brings the story to life.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's our picks for spooky season. We hope you enjoy them and would love to hear some of your recommendations as well. See you soon. Join us next month for Nonfiction November. And until then, happy reading.
Bye. Bye.